Ilhan Omar. You know, one thing about Ilhan Omar is the fact that even when she see her wrong, even when she know that this thing she's doing is wrong, she'll come as if she is kind of submissive or she's kind of regretting her act. But in real sense, that woman doesn't look like someone that is regretting her act. Honestly, sometimes when I see some of these, what they call it, some of these Somalians do videos online, maybe they are reading something, I tend to ask myself, you stayed in the United States, a lot of them will say, we have stayed in the United States right from the day we were born. Why can't you just read properly? It's something I can't understand. You see, this is a fraudulent level. It has gotten to another level that, as at this point, honestly, I really do not know what the orange man is doing, fighting war with Iran and the rest of that, forgetting what he's supposed to come and treat, things like the Epstein files, things like Ilhan Omar and every other thing. Anyways, let me not say too much. I have a lot to say at the end of the video. Let me roll out the other clip I have for you guys, and I'll be back with commentaries. And do not forget that credits belong to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in today's episode. And I want to say a very big thank you to every single one of you liking, commenting, sharing, dropping super thanks, and also joining my membership. I did not take you guys for granted. You guys are absolutely the best. And guys, with that being said, let's continue. I'll be back with commentaries. Let's go watch.
This is a sign from one of the states. It's called, who makes this? You can't make this stuff up. Quality Learning Center. It's supposed to be a learning center. They can't even spell learning right. But that doesn't stop the Democrats in Minnesota to keep shoveling money right to these programs, stealing money from the taxpayers, from the Democrats, going to Democrats who are running these things. Mr. President, it's appalling. The people of the United States are appalled and are furious. This ought to be a red flag for fraud. Why aren't the Democrats who run the place doing anything about it? There were 95 violations for this Learning Center alone between 2019 and 2023. Violations occurred, no records on the children. But in Minnesota, run by the Democrats, taxpayer money continued to flow. It's disgraceful, Mr. President. These aren't just one-off abuses. We now know that the fraud schemes used in the state's child care programs have been used to defraud other social programs as well. Even the New York Times has pointed to this. They say the fraud in Minnesota, run by the Democrats, is, quote, staggering in its scale and brazenness. I don't see any Democrats coming to the floor here today to point out the fraud, talk about what's happening there, how the money's been stolen from people that need it, the services that are needed by people that means they're not getting it.
Yeah.
The Department of Justice has charged 98 defendants in Minnesota Medicaid fraud-related cases. So far, 64 of these have been convicted. Last month, one defendant was found guilty of stealing $14 million from Medicaid. Yes, she did. She stole $14 million from Medicaid. You don't hear a word from the Minnesota Democrats coming to the floor here to talk about it. Nope. She also stole nearly $500,000 from child nutrition programs.
Congresswoman, let's be real. The FBI confirmed the daycares were empty. You took $250 million from taxpayers. How do you justify this fraud when Americans are demanding law and order?
I see the comments. You're all screaming about the fraud. You say, Ilhan, stealing $250 million is wrong. The daycares were fake. It's a crime. Okay, fine. Let's say you are right. Let's say we took the money. Let's say we bent the rules. But have you stopped for 1 second to think about why? Look at the alternative. You are crying about tax dollars, but Donald Trump is out there planning to hunt down human beings. You care about a balanced budget. I care about stopping a dictator. If we didn't have that money, ICE agents would be kicking down doors right now.
How did Ilhan Omar go from $65,000 net worth to a $30 million net worth in just 3 years? How does that happen? I think we all know the answer to that. Many just may not want to admit that, especially if you're on the left. And while she has denied all this wealth, the New York Post reported back in September that Representative Ilhan Omar reported a net worth of up to $30 million in her latest financial disclosure. Now, months before this disclosure, she acted like everyone was crazy for suggesting she was a millionaire. She dismissed those claims. Now, according to her disclosure, it shows that her and her husband, Tim Minette, experienced roughly 3,500% increase in net worth last year. That's wild. especially since it's all came out about the Somali fraud scheme. What are your thoughts? Where do you think, Omar?
All right, guys, woke Somali Congresswoman Ilhan Omar and her consultant husband, Tim Manette, are under investigation from the House Oversight Committee. Well, now that investigation has gone overseas, as it looks like Omar and her husband are making money in Somalia, Dubai, and really all over the place. Now, you remember there were $9 billion in fraud coming out of the state of Minnesota, specifically from Ilhan Omar's district, and it looks like some of that money is going back over to Somalia. And if you remember, Ilhan Omar came into Congress with a negative $65,000 net worth, and now her and her husband are worth up to $30 million. Something isn't adding up. Take a look.
Meanwhile, the House Oversight investigation into Minnesota squad Democrat Ilhan Omar is going global. The committee is now looking into her husband's business dealings overseas. Maddie Rivera joins us from Washington with the very latest. Good morning, Maddie.
Good morning, Griff. House Oversight Chair James Comer says he wants answers after federal disclosures show Congresswoman Omar's husband's assets grew millions of dollars in about a year. The bulk of Tim Minette's wealth comes from two ventures, a California-based winery and a D.C.-based venture capital firm. Comer says Minette's stakes there grew from $51,000 in 2023 to as much as $30 million in 2024. Now, the New York Post reports Comer wants the House Ethics Committee to look beyond Minette's businesses in the U.S. and include places like Somalia, Kenya, and the United Arab Emirates. The Post reports Minette's investment firm wanted to build solar panels in Africa. In a letter to Minette from February 5th, Comer writes, "There are serious public concerns about how your businesses increased so dramatically in value only a year after reporting very limited assets." Omar contends she did nothing wrong and says her wealth came from her husband. The House Oversight Committee began the initial probe into the couple, an atypical move given that the House Ethics Committee usually handles allegations involving lawmakers and their families. But it grew out of Comer's efforts to investigate alleged fraud in Minnesota. There's a long history of lawmakers taking office and raking in cash. There are similar questions about the income of Omar's fellow squad member, Ayanna Pressley.
I love how Ilhan Omar just tries to say, oh no, it's just my husband's money, nothing to see here. Well, if we look at her husband, he had $50,000 in these businesses, and now 1 year later, they're worth up to $30 million. That doesn't make sense for anybody. Ayanna Pressley, the same story with her husband. They went from a negative net worth to $8 million. Something needs to be done. We have these investigations happening, but let's remember, if the Democrats take back the House, all these investigations stop. Take a look at this.
Guys, I mean, it's an interesting situation we have here. I mean, there's a lot of explaining to do, wouldn't you say?
That's what he do. Yeah. When the GDP of Somalia is $12 billion and we have $9 billion that has been lost in Minneapolis, it does kind of raise some kind of questions.
And some saying the number could be actually much higher than much higher than that. And you see all of this really shady business dealings here from Ilhan Omar. The attention on Minnesota corruption, and specifically the role of Ilhan Omar, cannot be overshadowed. We had Brandon Gill on, as you remember, last weekend, and he says that he promises that the House Republicans will get to the bottom of this potential scandal before the midterms. Because if the Republicans lose the House, Griff, these investigations will go away.
Oh, and they're going to change very much in the scope of who they will be targeting.
Just think about that for a minute. The entire economy of the country of Somalia is $12 billion, and you have Somali people in one state in this country, the state of Minnesota, committing $9 billion in fraud. And then you have a Somali congresswoman like Omar with her husband sending that fraud money back over to Somalia and making money over there. I mean, how disgusting is this? And like they just said in that clip, if the Democrats take the House back, not only will these investigations go away, they're going to flip them over onto the Republicans. And Republicans are going to be under investigation for garbage, just like they did to President Trump. The impeachments are going to come back. And you know who's getting screwed over? The taxpayer. I mean, just imagine being represented by Ilhan Omar, knowing that your money's going into her pocket and then it's going back overseas in her husband's businesses. This is truly disgusting.
It's just that there's something really particularly distasteful about what we see happening in Minnesota. And if there is a connection between her and some of this other corruption we're seeing, and she's been covering it up for her district, and of course, it's worse because it's like an immigrant. You know, this is an immigrant community. The lack of gratitude that you would come here, not just be exceptionally high rates of welfare, but now you're also just literally ripping us off and sending our money to Somalia. This is unacceptable.
Yeah, and let's not forget, I mean, obviously the biggest victims are taxpayers across the country.
Of course.
But also victimized by all this are the people that she's supposed to represent, who she's instead putting all of her effort into stealing from.
And that's the truth. You have people in Ilhan Omar's office that were convicted of being involved in that Somali fraud. She knew exactly what was going on. She helped these people, and then she's sending that money back overseas. We already know that she most likely did marry her brother. We already know that she probably lied about her age to get her citizenship in the first place. And I made videos on both those things. I'll put links at the end of this video for that. But you guys got to take a look at this and speak out now. Tell your members in Congress to do these investigations and get them over with before it's too late. Because if she's not held accountable now, we're going to be stuck with Omar for another 2 years. She needs to be expelled from the House. She needs to be charged with crimes, and she needs to have her citizenship stripped away. Quite frankly, Ilhan Omar does not belong in this country. Guys, do me a favor. If you like this video, hit that like button, share this video with your friends, subscribe to this channel, and stay tuned for more. Thanks, guys.
Anyways, welcome back, guys. And you guys have seen all of that video that I have for you guys. And the truth is, to wrap up my head around these Somalian people, is something that I get so exhausted in doing, honestly. Because coming from their own part of Somalias, from Somali, which is their own place, like I can honestly tell you, there is not a lot of things that is being glorified there. I hardly see things that are being glorified in Somali. That's just the honest truth. I don't know, maybe because of what the media has literally been bringing, but I feel like at all, if Somalians are really doing well, if Somalians are really striving hard, I feel like a lot of media would have also covered that as well. Their fraudulent activities do not start today. On different countless occasions. Until now, I was thinking by now, Ilhan Omar will be in Somalia. Honestly, I was thinking by now, Ilhan Omar won't even have any opportunity to be speaking to whatsoever she's speaking, going to the media and do. How can you explain to me that from the fraud that they are already covering, they are discovering to the one that you and your honorable husband allegedly is doing? It's not making sense. It's not making sense. And you see a lot of these Somalians want black people to come out and support them, want black Americans to talk about their issues, want black Americans to be their savior, want black Americans to like say a lot of things. Why? In real sense, black people cannot even come support you. In real sense, black people will not see all this wrong thing and expect that they applaud you as Somalians for those things to be right. Somalians have literally said it on countless occasions, and we have seen it, that they are not blacks. They are Somalis, they are Arabs, they speak Arabs. They eat Arab food. So don't expect any black person to come and throw sympathy when you know that every single thing that you people have done in America is to bring America backward. To the point that you people went to this point of saying, you people own America. So Minnesota has been promised to you guys 3,000 to 4,000 years ago. Probably because this woman is actually a congresswoman. Because I think by now her axe should be sitting in Somalia. What is she still doing in America? she should be sitting in Somalia. That's just the honest truth. Not deporting the only illegal ones. Not deporting even the legal ones that ICE agents just bombard. Why can't ICE agents just do this job once and for all? Why can't they do the right thing? Is it because she is in power or something? Like, I really do not get that till this point, this woman still keep going and they keep doing investigation on just one person over and over again. Who the hell are you for people to keep doing investigation over and over again, where you have proven on different occasions that Somalis are guilty? It's a whole lot to wrap up my head, because I'm just imagining if some of these things that I say Somalis have literally done, have literally been done in any way by Black Americans, by now it would have been a whole lot of different issues. But they are not, and still, they are still enjoying all. Like, comment, and share. Let me know what you think about this video. Credits belong to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. I want to say a very big thank you to every single one of you liking, commenting, sharing, dropping super thanks, and also joining my membership. I do not take you guys for granted. You guys are absolutely the best. Disclaimer, this is just educational purposes only, not to come here ruffle on anyone's shoulder. And guys, let me just leave you guys. I'll see you guys in my next one, honestly. Bye for now. I love you guys. Mwah.